Hey guys, it's Mountain Gold. It's time to talk about my best gear of the year. In this video, I share my top 10 ranking of the gear I used in the previous year, and before talking about the ranking, let me state that as always, I'm not sponsored by any companies and I've never been asked to give a review to you guys. All the gear was purchased by myself with my own money at full price, as long as it was not discounted. I've never get discount because I'm a YouTuber or something. I always buy as you do. Anyways, let's talk about the 10th place. This gear was not the new gear. I bought the gear a few years ago and I was kept using it, and eventually it became my favorite gear. That is Thermarest NeoAir NXT. I'm a Thermarest user since I just started hiking. In the past several years, I had used Thermarest Uberlights and I really liked the sleeping mat, but eventually it wore out and I got a leakage. I had never had punctures. My Uberlight had never had any punctures. But finally, the material around the valve was worn out and it came to leak. So it was the end of the life. So I officially retired the Uberlight and I started to use this one. It is a bit heavier than the Uberlight, but just a few ounces difference, so it's okay. The NeoAir sleeping mats used to have the notorious reputation of being so noisy, but as for the NXT, not so much. I don't say not at all, but it's not bad at all. The first person who used the mat was actually my daughter, and my daughter tosses and turns while sleeping, and when she was sleeping on the mat, I didn't really notice the potato chips bag sounds. It was a positive surprise, and I finally started to use this mat by my own, and I'm not bothered by the noise at all. And it is quite warm. It's not as warm as the X-Therm, but much warmer than the Uberlight. So now it is my go-to inflatable sleeping pad. I'm also thinking of testing the closed cell phone pad again. I used to use that, but I don't know. For the Best Gear Award, it became my 10th place. The 9th place is something I just started to use last year and immediately became my favorite gear. It is not a multi-purpose kind of gear, but I can recommend the item to you guys. That is Zpacks down hoodie. It is very light and it is warm enough for the weight. I used to use the Enlightened Equipment Treat Apex jacket because it was a synthetic jacket. It can retain some warmth even if it gets wet. But I know that the Zpacks down fitting doesn't get wet easily in my experience from the sleeping bag. So I switched to the natural material insulation jacket. It is not a perfect item. It doesn't have a zip at the pocket. But other than that, I like the fitting and warmth and weight. When I'm in a campsite and when it gets cold, I wear it, and when I sleep and when it's cold, I also wear it. So except walking, I pretty much wear it for many hours. To me, it was bringing. Every time when I bring it, it has never let me down, so I highly recommend it. The 8th place is also from Zpacks, and also it was the alternative item of the Enlightened Equipment product. That is Zpacks Ventum wind shell. The outer material is Ventum ripstop nylon. That is 7 denier thickness or thinness. Whatever. Since the material is super thin, it breathes so well. But at the same time, of course it is a wind shell, it blocks fair amount of wind, gust. I don't like crummy feeling. If I feel crummy feeling while wearing a wind jacket, then I don't need that sort of wind jacket, right? If the inside of a wind jacket is so humid, then it's not different from wearing rain jacket, right? I expect a wind jacket to be breathable and wind resistant at the same time, and it achieves the perfect balance between these two aspects. So I really like it. It has an elastic sleeve end. There are no bells and whistles, even though there is no pocket. But I wear 5-pocket pants or shorts anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. The reason why I switched from the Copperfield jacket from the Enlightened equipment was that I didn't like the fitting of the Enlightened equipment. I don't know, I think the Enlightened equipment products are like the fitting was based on the average American people, but I think Zpacks sizing fitting was more based on the average people in the world. Small size is not too baggy, so I like the sizing of the Zpacks clothing, so I switched to Zpacks clothing. And it goes to the 8th place because it is pretty durable for the weight and thinness. When I hiked the Central Alps last year, it was like bushwrecking. The tree branches or things like that hit my arms and body while I was on the jacket. But there are no signs of wear or tear or whatsoever. So if you are not a climber or if you don't do bushwalking so often, then the durability is just fine. You won't break the jacket as long as you just hike. I recommend it. The 7th place is also Zpacks product. It is totally new product for me. That is Zpacks Classic Sleeping Bag. It is not named kilt because, as you can see, it has a zip entirely. However, it doesn't have a hood like an ordinary sleeping bag, but it is named sleeping bag. I still like my Zpacks summer kilt. During the summer, it is okay. I don't say it's warm enough, but as long as you are not a severe cold sleeper, summer kilt will work even in a Japan Alps environment. But of course, summer kilt is not enough for the late spring and early fall temperatures. So I sort of upgraded the temperature range of the sleeping system, and I chose this item. The biggest pro of the product is that the summer kilt is a see-through stitching, so there are no box in the summer kilt. So technically speaking, stitching can be a cold spot, right? Because it is sewn through directly. It's not the most efficient way to keep you warm, right? But on the other hand, the classic sleeping bag is not sewn through, it is box stitching, so it means that there are almost no cold spots in the bag except the zip. But you know, the zip is under my body, so it doesn't really cause any problems. Box structure traps heat nicely and it's very toasty inside. It's just a few ounces heavier than the summer kilt, but the weight penalty really makes difference. So if you are looking for a ultralight sleeping bag or kilt that doesn't sacrifice the warmth and comfort, then I really recommend it. But one drawback is that it doesn't have a bungee cord loop or something, so I cannot fix the bag to my sleeping pad. So when I toss and turn in the bag, I sometimes slipped from the pad and it is sort of annoying. I don't know, it is a problem of slippery surface of the Thermarest NeoAir or the slippery surface of the sleeping bag. I don't know, maybe caused by both aspects, but other than that, it is my favorite bag. Alright, the 6th place item is not from Zpacks, but from Yamatomichi. I easily get overheated, so I was looking for an ideal active installation. Active installation is something you wear while walking. The necessary feature of an active installation is something like it has a really nice breathability, air permeability, and warmth. If it's too warm, you can't keep wearing it, right? But if it breathes super well, then it's not an installation at all. It doesn't keep you warm. So the balance of warmth and air permeability is the key for a good active installation, in my opinion. And I tried Senchi Design's Alpha 60 hoodie that was too breathable, and I tried Yamatomichi Alpha vest. It's very nice product, but it doesn't have sleeves, obviously, and it doesn't have a zip or something to ventilate, so it's not an ideal product while keep moving. I also tried Okuta fleece from Zpacks, and it breathes super well, and it didn't work at all when the wind was strong. I also used Treat Apex vest or things like that, but nothing really satisfied me, and I almost gave up finding an ideal active installation. But there was only one material I didn't try yet, and that was Polartec Alpha Active material. So I got a Yamatomichi Active Pullover. The marketing hype was that it breathes nicely, but it also broke some wind and it keeps you warm. I was pretty skeptical about it, I was fed up with all kinds of hypes from the gear manufacturers speaking of the active installation. But I gave it a try, and it was surprising, actually. It worked just like it was claimed. It is long sleeve, and torso length is a bit short side, but it's okay. It has a nice length of the ventilation zip. I can open it to the center of my body. When the wind was super strong, it still broke nice amount of wind, and it also warm, but it's not too warm. In many cases, I could keep wearing it. For a few hikes, I literally kept wearing it. So this is my favorite piece of gear. But it is my request to Yamatomichi. I know you don't listen to me. I don't even think that you watch my video, but please give the hood active hoodie. The hood makes the product perfect. I recommend it. The fifth product is from Zpacks again. The product itself is quite popular among ultralight hikers all over the world, but recently Zpacks sort of customized the product, and the product became more attractive. I can also say more versatile, and that is Zpacks Sub-Nero backpack. Mine is running vest shoulder straps, but it is totally interchangeable, so you can switch the straps to male shoulder straps or female shoulder straps or things like that. And this sort of feature will attract many hikers. So far, I'm happy with the vest type straps. It has two sternum straps, as you can see, so it can hug your body, hold your body, and the backpack is very stable. It doesn't shake and bother your balance while walking or running. The vest straps also have 3 pockets like this pocket, 3 pockets. It's very nice. The capacity is not so big. The volume of the main bag is 25 liters or so, but it has a super generous front pocket and many pockets outside. So if your items are already dialed down to ultralight hiking, then you can use it for overnight hiking or 2 or 3 nights hiking without problems. My request, I always say that I wish it had a bottom mesh pocket like the lightweight backpacks or other backpacks have. But recently, Zpacks just released Nero Pro or something, and it has a bottom mesh pocket, and that is good news. But I hope Zpacks will release something like the add-on bottom mesh pocket or something. Then I can have bottom mesh pocket. Usually, when I actually use it, I put the Valcru's ventilation frame to the back panel. Valcru's ventilation frame was the best product of the last year, so you should also check it out. One more complaint might be that if you carry too much, like if the backpack's pack weight reached like 9 pounds or so, your shoulders will scream. It's not the most comfortable shoulder straps. If you are not ready for ultralight hiking, then it won't be your first choice. This year, I'm also using it, but at the same time, I occasionally use lightweight packs that has the puffiest shoulder straps among the ultralight backpacks. If your hiking style fits this backpack, I think it's worth trying. The fourth place is a combination of 2 products from Yamatomichi. In my hiking style, it didn't work like a standalone product. I mean, in my hiking style, it had to be combined together, so I can't choose either one. And the items are short sleeve UL shirt and 100% merino tank top. This shirt is not ideal to wear directly on my skin, so to wear the UL shirt, I have to wear a base layer. I shouldn't say cannot, because someone might be wearing this as a base layer, but I don't really recommend. When it gets wet, it will stick to your body and it will make you sweat a chill. So I wear the tank top underneath the shirt. I easily get overheated, so when I hike in the daytime and when I feel so hot, I just wear the tank top, and when it's a bit chilly, then I wear the shirt over the tank top. The layering system worked very nice, so they became my favorite items. But the tank top's shoulder area is very narrow, right? Just 2 inches or so. And as you know, the running vest strap is pretty wide, right? So the shoulder straps wrap my shoulders and it was very uncomfortable and it hurt me. So this year, I actually already using the Yamatomichi 100% merino sleeveless. Actually, the item will replace the item, but I don't know, if I hike super hot trail, then it might be better choice over the sleeveless. I don't know. And I have to note something. Now I'm wearing the Roark's Blaze Up Trail short sleeve shirt. I also wear the shirt last year while hiking the Northern Alps, and it worked phenomenally. Personally speaking, I like a Blaze Up Trail shirt much more than the Yamatomichi UL shirt, but it was out of the ranking. It can be worn directly on the skin, it breathes super well, air permeability is excellent, it dries very fast, it's a bit of stretchy and it's super comfortable, but it is fragile for the price. When I use it for an overnight hiking, material was many peelings and things like that. So I felt like, well, I don't think I can use the Blaze Up Trail shirt for many years to come. This is a strong drawback. It is comfortable though. If the material is strong enough, durable enough for the hiking in the severe sort of environment, it will be in the best 3, but unfortunately, it didn't make it to the best 10 list for the year. The third place item is not from Zpacks nor Yamatomichi. It was really satisfied me last year and this year as well. I'm still using it. I was searching for my ideal pillow. I'm very picky to my pillow. The pillow I use in my house is some special type of pillow. Pillow is a very important thing. Sleeping is an essential part of my life. When I was an alpine club, I didn't have pillow at all. At that time, I bring so many unnecessary stuff from the ultraliker's perspective. So I put my stuff like extra clothing or food or something like that all together in a bag and put it under my head. And it was my pillow back then. But when I started ultralight hiking, sort of, the first pillow I got was the Sea Summit Air's ultralight pillow, and it was okay, but it moves around, and when I wake up, the pillow was often somewhere in the tent. It didn't sit nicely under my head. So I switched to the Zpacks ultralight inflatable pillow. It is optional, but you can put the bungee cord to the pillow so it doesn't move around even if I toss and turn on the pillow. But the problem was that the pillow was not so comfortable. It is super light, it is useful, but I expect a pillow to be comfortable. I want the pillow to help me sleep well. And I came up with the Big Sky International DreamSleeper. Mine has the name of Dream Nation, but DreamSleeper and Dream Nation are the same product. I don't know why the same product has different names, but it is what it is, or they are what they are. Anyways, mine is a deluxe version, so it has a Prima Loft insulation pillow cover. So it is a Prima Loft pillow cover, and it has a bungee cord on the cover, and it is a pillow itself. I attached the stick-on loop from Zpacks to the pillow. When I camp, I use the cover, or when I let my daughter use the pillow, she uses the cover, but when I use it for my hiking, I don't use the cover and I just use the inside. It has a bungee cord I attached to it. It is made of thermopolyurethane, so it stretches nicely, and when it's fully inflated, the height is nice enough for a side sleeper. It can be fragile, but ultralight products are such things. I or my daughter use the pillow several times, but so far no problem. So as long as you baby it, it will serve you nicely. The second place item is the traditional gear in Japan. It can be used for many things. Actually, the item is not for hiking. People have used it for farming, gardening, hot springs, in the kitchen. It is a very multi-purpose product, and that is something I hadn't tried for many years because I have a nice product called bath. The second place goes to Chaoras Sport Tenugui. Tenugui is a Japanese traditional bandana, sort of. But it's not a square shape at all. It is a rectangular shape. Chaoras Tenugui was really nice. Actually, it doesn't necessarily Chaoras product, but I heard a good reputation of the brand, so I got it. And actually, I fell in love with Tenugui, so I got 2 more stuff. I often hike with my 2 daughters, so each daughter has the Tenugui, and mountain goat stuff is mine. It is multi-purpose. I can use it as a pillow cover. It became my towel. It can become my scarf when it's super hot. I can sink it in the river, and if I wear the soaked tenugui over my head or around my neck, it really cools me down. It is very useful. I should have it sooner. It's one of my biggest regrets of my hiking career. It dries first, it doesn't get stinky so far, and Chaoras product design is very cute. Nice to have. When I was putting the bandana around my head and took a rest around the mountain hat, some hikers gave me compliments like, I like your tenugui, where did you get it, or things like that. So that's nice, right? If you are interested in tenugui, Chaoras tenugui might be a really nice choice. Highly recommend it. The last but not least, the best gear of the year is something you will not expect. The product is not from famous hiking brands like Zpacks, Yamatomichi, Lightning Man, things like that. Also, I haven't really seen the hiker wearing the product. If you hike in the Japan Alps, it might be a really nice product, and if I hike the Northern Alps, I will always bring it. Bring the pair. That is a hint. The best product of the year is the Oleno's calf protection. Literally, it is a calf protection. So it can protect your calf from the branches, insects, coldness, and dews. It's not a compression stuff. I don't know. I think it's better than nothing, but the main purpose is not compression, but to protect your calf from various things. It worked very well. And also, I'm a shorts hiker, and in many cases, shorts are nice, but when I just started to hike, wearing shorts feels a bit chilly. I was also looking for convertible hiking pants, like, it has a zip in the middle of the leg area, and if you unzip, it can be shorts, and if you zip the leg part to the shorts, it became pants or things like that, right? Many outdoor gear companies release that kind of multi-purpose sort of pants, but these pants are heavy. And also, it might be very cumbersome to attach the leg part or detach the leg part. It is sort of like a convertible leg part of your shorts. It can add nice amount of warmth to your leg, but it's not super hot while wearing it. If you are a short hiker and if you often hike the Japan Alps, you know it, right? Your calf is continuously rubbed by bush, and if you start to hike in the early morning, the bush is super wet because of the dew, and eventually the dew get your shoes super wet, and also some plants are poisonous. So your leg got itchy, right? The appeal of the calf protection solves the problems. So I will bring the pair every time I hike the Japan Alps. This is the best item of the year. Alright, that's all for today. What do you think about my ranking? I used a lot of items, and it was very tough to make the list. 10 best items, but that's my list. Of course, I can be biased based on my own preference or my own perspective. So if a certain product works for me, it doesn't necessarily mean to work for you. But that's a review video, right? If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave in a comment section. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you are not subscribed yet, please do that. If you have done so already, as always, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. As always, and as I promise you, I donate all the money from the YouTube to hiking community or something. I donated the YouTube profit, YouTube revenue, YouTube money to international NGOs such as Doctors Without Borders, WWF, and also Appalachian Trail Conservatory, and Pacific Crest Trail Association. I donate all the profit, all the money I make from YouTube. You don't have to do anything to me. I mean, if you watch my video, the YouTube will provide me some money and I donate all the money to make the world better place for us. Your support makes difference, so I really appreciate it. I'm also doing Instagram, so please feel free to follow me from the link in the description. See you on the trail. Bye.